Добар ден, почитувани. Гостин во неделното интервју на Радио Слободна Европа е евроамбасадорот во Република Македонија, господин Отирван Фуере. Ambassador, the EC report has been subject to different interpretations. The opposition considers it to be negative, whereas the authorities consider it to be generally positive. Have the progress reports outnumbered the remarks in this instance?
Well, what we saw in the last days, I think, reflects a sterile debate. What we need now is for the government and the state institutions to focus on those areas where reforms were identified as needed, shortcomings were highlighted, and really come forward with an action plan which would, over the next month, ensure that the country can catch up in those areas. This is what we would like to see, and I welcomed the action plan announced by the Prime Minister last week, and we look forward now to the follow-up on that announcement.
The Macedonian Prime Minister has missed a press conference in Brussels. The Transport Minister has criticized decisions of the Constitutional Court, which is opposite to the remarks that have been placed in the report itself. Also, there is a public opinion poll saying that Macedonians will not want to enter the European Union under a different name. Is this all a sign that Macedonia is deviating or slowing down to the path to the European Union?
I don't think so. I mean, I really feel that, as reflected in the polls, that the people are genuinely determined and want to see the country join the European Union, and there's no other alternative for the country. So what we need now is really for the government to demonstrate by its actions that it is really committed to this objective, and that it devotes all its efforts on the recommendations that are contained in this report. And if it does that, then it really will respond to the aspirations of the citizens. It will demonstrate that it fully understands and accepts the work that is still required, and will act accordingly. And we want to see a consistent effort from the government in this respect. Has
there been consistency?
It's true that these last years we've seen inconsistency. As the Commissioner himself said, that the reform process continued but at an uneven pace. So last year, 2009, was a positive year. This year we saw that in a number of areas there was definite delays, there was backsliding, and so what we need now is for the country to move forward in a consistent way and to really address all these shortcomings and help the country to be more prepared for the moment when negotiations can start.
Judging by the media reports, it seems that a great number of emphasis has been placed on the use of the term Macedonian in reference of language or the lack thereof. Has this overshadowed the important aspects of the report?
Unfortunately, I think it did. Perhaps for some this was the intention, but certainly from our point of view, we believe that this matter has been addressed. It is a sensitive issue, of course. I apologize for the misunderstanding, and we believe that really now we need to focus on the real issues that are reflected in the report that need attention. And I do hope that this will be the way forward.
The Secretariat for European Affairs in the Government of the Republic of Macedonia has been subject to employment changes. According to media reports, 16 people have left the Secretariat, out of which, half of which have been expelled. Is this wise to change the employment structure of the body that needs to consistently coordinate Brussels and Skopje?
Well, these developments that you mention highlight even more the urgency of the government ensuring a proper professional public administration. A public administration that really ensures that the reforms are effectively implemented, that are followed through, and a public administration that is one where the civil servants are chosen and move up in the career structure on the basis of their expertise and competence, and not on the basis of party affiliation. And there's no doubt that we have seen increasing trends of more party affiliation being the main criteria for appointment of people at the national level and at the local level, and this weakens the administration. And this also weakens the motivation. I have known the Secretariat for many years now, and there have been some very good people there. These were the pioneers who really drove the EU agenda with the preparation of all these documents which enabled the country to be granted candidate status. This is a great expertise, and it's important that whatever expertise exists must be preserved for the future, because negotiations for accession are not an easy matter. They require a lot of effort, a lot of consistency, a lot of professionalism. This is why Slovenia was so successful in its accession process, because they had a professional public administration which moved the process and which was not there on the basis of party affiliation, but on the basis of professional standards and expertise.
While on the subject, if the Macedonian public administration is to meet the European Union standards, are job cuts inevitable?
Well, certainly the fact of the matter is that the government is the largest employer in the country, but nevertheless the focus should be on professionalizing the public administration. And the more one sees increase in the public service, the more the danger of politicization. Particularly before election time, there's always a tendency, well over the years, not just with this administration but previous administrations, to fill up the administration with party supporters, things like this. This really again goes against the concept of a professional public administration.
The media have placed a special emphasis on freedom of expression. Is that deteriorating in the Republic of Macedonia?
Yes, not just here but throughout the region, and this is why the European Commission in its progress report for Macedonia, but also in its report for the entire region, for trends in the region, highlighted concerns with freedom of expression and also respect for independence of the media. And in the case of this country, there's no doubt that there has been an increase in intimidation of journalists, political pressure exercised on those who would express critical opinions. And yet this is the role of journalists, and the more this pressure, the greater the damage to the democratic process. And if there is a proper respect for the media in a country, this also ensures a sense of responsibility on both sides. But if you don't have that respect and that intimidation continues, then the situation will get worse. And this is what we wanted to alert the authorities here and to ensure that this is stopped.
While on the subject, you yourself have been subject to media critics lately. How do you cope with that?
Well, it is difficult, certainly. It's very hurtful, particularly when everything is so personalized here. And I think it emphasizes that politics here in the most recent years have become very, very personalized, very vindictive, for no reasons at all. And this also undermines the credibility of the political family, the elected leaders, if they act in this way. And also, I'm afraid, it reflects this atmosphere of fear, which I have mentioned on a number of occasions. People are afraid to speak out because they're afraid for their jobs, for their families that will be affected by the governing parties and things like this. This is not healthy at all for the country. It's very unhealthy, and it's certainly undermining the image of the country.
Thank you, Ambassador. Тоа беше се за ова издание на неделното интервју на Радио Слободна Европа, повторна средба за 7 дена.